welcome back to another episode of the Listen to LambChop podcast. This is episode number 2, guys. Bear with us in this episode because I haven't finally tuned my new Zoom recorder. It's the H4n Pro that I'm recording on right now, and the microphone setup. Again, I have a guest here today with me. It's Cody Spence again.
Hey.
So, hopefully we're coming in loud and clear, literally. Hopefully y'all can hear us loud and clearly. But basically, today's episode is just kind of talking about our very recent trip to Sevierville and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So, we're going to get into just a little bit about the area and what we had planned. So, basically, I contacted you when, like, almost a month ago?
It was like 4 weeks, before our actual trip.
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks before the trip, and I was like, dude, we've been talking about taking a trip, just the two of us going somewhere, guys trip, and filming some content for the vlog and everything, and we decided that, I saw a video a while back of, it was the Endless Adventure YouTube channel. They went through Sevierville, Tennessee, and I was like, man, that place looks fun. I've never been to Pigeon Forge or Sevierville. I've only been to
you've
Gatlinburg.
never been?
No.
Oh, I thought you have.
No. I've only been to Gatlinburg. I've been to Gatlinburg like plenty of times, but never
Really?
the Pigeon Forge part of all that. So it was a new experience for me. Overall, our experience, I would say that it was an 8 or 9 out of 10. The only thing that really held it back from being a solid 10 was probably just traffic and crowds everywhere.
Yeah.
Worse than when I go to Florida.
Well, also, you didn't realize that it was also spring break.
Yeah,
So-
I did kind of mess that up a little bit. Poor planning on my part is I didn't realize when spring break was, and I was like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to go. I have a regular 9 to 5, and I was like, I'll just request that off and take a week of vacation, and we'll take a weekend trip there. And no idea that it was going to be spring break time, so, I mean, it was even more crowded. We saw a lot of New York and Michigan tags.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of odd, but I guess my sister-in-law actually made a really great point. It's like those areas up north, or a lot of those areas aren't opened up as much as down here, probably
That's
in
true.
the South in general, as far as the pandemic and coronavirus goes. So I think that maybe they were all just coming down
For an escape.
yeah, to escape, just go to the mountains, go to something kind of halfway. Instead of going all the way down to Florida, they go to the mountains and southeastern Tennessee. So, but I mean, I had a great time, man. I mean,
Yeah, it was
highlights of the trip was going to the Smoky Mountain, knife museum. It was like the biggest knife store and museum in the country or in the world, possibly, and also the.
That was the first thing we did when we got there.
Yeah. Well, first thing we did when we got there actually was eat at Flapjack's Pancake Cabin, which was
That was great.
pretty darn good. Yeah.
That might have been my highlight.
That dude, you actually had flapjacks. You said they were amazing.
Oh, they were great.
And then you had-
I'm not even a big pancake guy.
Yeah. What was your main entree?
It was called the Spanish skillet, but basically it was just like this skillet that just had it was a layer of hash browns, and then on top of it was chorizo, and then 2 fried eggs on top with some cheese, pico de gallo. I think maybe a little bit of cilantro. Had bell peppers and onions chopped up in it, and
It
was great.
looked really good. It looked really good. I got the chicken and waffles, which is something else that I saw Allison from the Endless Adventure try, and I was kind of predetermined to get that from the get-go. And when we got there, I scanned the menu, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go chicken and waffles. That I really wanted. It sounds good. I don't usually get chicken and waffles, but boy, it was good. I mean, it was a deep Belgium-style waffle in a skillet.
What was
And,
that sauce she gave you?
It was like a hot honey sauce. Basically, it's like a cayenne honey sauce to drizzle on top of the
Did you
chicken.
even use the syrup?
Yeah, I used the honey sauce and I drizzled the syrup on the pancake.
Oh, which by the way, the syrup. She brought the syrup out in a glass
yeah.
jar, and it was nice and warm.
Yeah, it was heated syrup, which apparently, according to Cody's dad, that's how it's supposed to be served.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always just put cold syrup on hot food, and then that kind of heated it as I ate it. But I had no idea about the serving syrup actually hot. I wonder if they do that in Canada with maple syrup.
I guess so. I mean, you would think, right?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, who knows? Because I didn't know about it. Me and my dad was actually on a trip the week before, and at the hotel he had got waffles, and he was not happy that the syrup was cold or room temperature. So,
Alex Pence got upset.
Yeah.
With the temperature of the syrup.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. You better heat that syrup up, boy.
Get out of Dodge.
Get out of Dodge. So, yeah, I think that overall it was a great experience. Flapjacks was awesome. Right after we left Flapjacks, we went to the world's largest knife store museum. And I can't confirm it 100%, but I'm pretty sure that holds up because this place was massive. It was overwhelming.
We got there about 30 to 40 minutes early, and there was already a little bit of a line, maybe about like 4 different families out there waiting already when we pulled up.
About 20 minutes early, yeah. Like, waiting to get into this place, and we were like, what's the big deal? I mean, it's going to open up. And you think, in our minds, we thought, like, it's waiting outside, like, an Academy or Dick's Sporting Goods or something. Like, there's just going to be a few people that really need to go in and get some, like, specific things.
Yeah, get in and get out.
Well, no, that's not the case. I mean, 5 minutes before they opened, tons of people rushed in.
Yeah, we sat there in the car thinking, okay,
we were
whatever.
like, whatever. This is no big deal. I mean, we're going to get in.
Come in.
It's going to kind of be like, more and more showed up. And you think that we're just going to go in, it's going to be like a leisurely stroll through this place. Well, no, I mean, 40, 50 people plus probably show up like 5 minutes before doors open. Doors open, they all rush in. We were like, well, maybe we should get out too. Let's get in there.
Yeah, parking lot was a mess. Some guy had to park right next to me.
Yeah.
I was worried about that.
Catty cornered right next to him. Like he was almost going to have to get out on my side, the passenger side, because it was so close. And the guy just thought it was fine to park like that. But it was so weird. Like, we go in, and then you just see, like, you're overwhelmed. There's just knives. There's literally knives.
There's upstairs,
everywhere.
downstairs. I mean, all you
upstairs,
see is knives.
Downstairs,
everywhere.
There was a little corner that was just, like, tucked away called the Knife Cave or something. I mean, they had all kinds. There was a waterfall in there. I mean, it was massive. It was like going to Bass Pro Shops, but just for knives. Well, except for the bottom level had a lot of stuff for guns, right?
Yes. Yeah, downstairs had a gun section. It was a pretty big gun section, and also they had so the best way to describe it is the downstairs was broken up into 3 parts. The gun section was one as soon as you go down, and then you turn a corner and you're in the antique section, which is where you have like for example, I probably stood there for about 10 minutes looking at a 1863 Army revolver, which was $2,000 that I wanted to buy, but
yeah,
I did not want to afford that.
Like, we get in the car afterwards, and he's like, "Dude, I found the second one of those I've ever seen, and it is amazing." And I was like, "What? The second one? Like, that's what you were looking at?"
Yeah.
I mean, but the museum part's upstairs, and there's all kind of different, like, sections. There was an Arctic section. There was one about what was the one? I thought it was Mayans, but it was Chinese.
It looked Asian, like it looked like it might have been Chinese or
I have no idea.
Mandarin, maybe.
It was insane, though. I mean, they had all kinds of stuff and relics. They had old-timey West stuff in frames, stuff in cases. Yeah, World War II, Civil War. Civil War.
I mean, Civil War. They had Western, which was right after Civil War. Base stuff. They had.
We learned that in episode 1. Listen to LambChop, episode 1.
Yeah.
Wild Wild West.
1890.
Only 30-year period. Get out of Dodge. Get out of Dodge. So, yeah, I mean, it was a very cool experience. It was very overwhelming, like I said. I mean, and within the first 30 minutes of being in there, first 30 minutes was okay. I mean, there's people in there. We're walking around. We're looking. After that 30-minute mark, it got insanely packed and crowded in there to the point where you were almost shoulder to shoulder with people, and you were trying to stand and look at something, but then you felt pressured to move along because people just kept crowding you and everything. And all the specific knife stations, they had like Gerber and Kershaw, and all these different places where you could go and actually look at that brand's knives. And there was only one person working each station, so all these places were taken up. You couldn't go and get in anywhere because there was one dude trying to check out like 7 or 8 of the knives.
So, all right, so this is Gavin's part of the trip where he got upset, and I'm sure we'll get to me later on. But Gavin was getting pretty mad with. there was one guy.
I couldn't help it, man. I mean, it was very irritating. All I wanted to do was look at like one knife
at one
knife.
counter that had one worker, and this one guy was like, "Yeah, I'll try that one. Yeah, too short. Let me try this one."
The guy working the counter kept looking at me, making eye contact, and I kept expecting him to be like, "Well, sir, while he's looking at that, you want to look at this?" But I think possibly they might have a policy that's like only one knife out of the case at a time.
I'm
that
sure
way there's no one
with one worker.
Yeah, with one worker. I'm sure that they're not allowed to take more than one knife out of the case at a time before the other one's put back. I think that's probably policy, something about,
it's easier for him to keep his eyes on it too.
Yeah, it reduces the.
He can't be handing out knives and then be like, "All right, I got 4 knives out."
Yeah, I mean, you can't just keep an eye on that. Yeah. So reduces shrink. I mean, he's not going to be reduces theft and stuff too. So, but this guy just kept asking to see all these knives. What about that one? What about that one right there? How about that gray one, third down from the left, the bottom? And I'm like, dude, like, your wife and daughters are sitting there waiting on you to move on to something else, and you just keep looking at every single knife. And I literally just need to look at one, and then I'm probably going to buy that one that I look at.
But see, I walked in thinking that this place was just going to be you just go look around, and then when you see a knife, oh, that's cool, and then you'll try. I didn't think it was like let me test it and fill it out, like trying to get ready for battle or something.
Oh yeah, they were all over. Man, this grip is the perfect grip, but it's not. The blade's not right. Let me see one with this grip. Short. Yeah, half an inch too short. Let me see one with the grip with the blade that's just right. Serrated, please.
You got something with Damascus steel?
Damascus. Let me get the Damascus. That's what you would want.
Oh, I love Damascus steel.
I got the Damascus steel. It's better than that regular old time steel. It's not as shiny.
Speaking of steel, you want to talk about stop number 2?
Stop number 2. What was stop number 2? Oh yeah. So we stopped at the steel. The steel. So yeah, we stopped at a distillery to check out what all they had in there. Obviously, it's like legal moonshine, and so we go in there, and the guy's giving out little samples. They're like in little tiny communion cups, and he'll pour you whatever you want. So I just walk up there, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to know what the most popular item is. And he goes, well, these are all 35 of our most popular items.
Best flavors here on this wall.
The whole wall are our best flavors. And I'm like, so you can't even narrow it down. He's like,
I ain't got to apologize for none of them.
Yeah, that's the only thing he kept repeating himself. Almost everything he said, he repeated.
It's like a script almost.
Yeah, it was so weird. It was almost like this guy was animatronic. Big old white guy, big bright red, cherry red face, sweating.
I had to taste that product, make sure it was all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was drunk, but
But he was a nice guy.
He was super nice. He was gonna let us try anything we wanted, but I asked him. I said, "Well, what's your favorite?" He goes, "I wouldn't apologize for anything up there." And he said that like 17 times while we were there. Probably.
When we try something. Oh man, that's great. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for saying that. Thank you. He gave me this one. It was pina colada flavor, and I said, dude, that shows up Malibu right there. And he's like, I appreciate you for saying that to me, boy. And I'm like, you're welcome, sir. So also, a woman walked in wearing a mask, and he was basically like, "Hey, you can take that mask off because anything on this wall right here will kill that coronavirus." And we're like, "Oh my gosh, all right, cool." He did halfway through taste. We tasted like a Choco one that tasted like a Wendy's.
I was just
Frosty.
curious, like how it worked. I didn't even want to try it.
Yeah, I mean, we were just kind of tasting stuff because we had never heard of banana pudding moonshine and stuff like that. So he was just pouring us little bitty tastings. We were tasting them, and then in the middle, he goes, "Y'all need a palate cleanser. Why don't y'all swish this around in your mouth real quick and swallow it, and it's going to help you out."
I literally swished it in my mouth.
I did not. I put it in, and I shot it back just like the rest of them.
Well, I lost my breath.
Yeah, it was so strong. I don't know what kind of proof it was, but it was ridiculous.
A lot.
Yeah, it was,
and then the
some
next
heavy duty stuff.
The next sample, I couldn't even taste it. I could not taste it with that cleanser.
Dude, it was bad. And then the next one I couldn't taste it either. I was still burning from the.
How was that? Oh,
you're asking me how was that?
That was good.
Triple strength Listerine you just gave us to drink? That was magnificent. Dude, that's what it felt like, to be honest with you. So we left there, and then we just kind of rode around for a while, did some shopping and whatnot, and then we finally made it to our hotel room. I'm not going to say the name of the place we stayed, but I will say that, it wasn't the best place I've ever stayed, but it definitely wasn't the
fancy
worst.
by no means, but for what we came there to do, it was a pretty nice. I mean, not fancy, but it was
it definitely
nice place to stay.
It suited our needs because all we need, it had 2 queen beds in it, a bathroom, clean. A sink, and it was it was clean enough. There were some spots around there that could have been cleaner.
Well, I mean,
the place itself could have been a little bit cleaner, but I mean it wasn't bad. It also came with a mini fridge and a microwave, so that was a big plus.
Oh yeah, that's always
big plus. So we were able to keep our drinks cold and reheat any food that we had left over. Take our leftovers back to the hotel room with us, so that was a big plus. After that, we went back out and we tried to go get dinner at
that was a pain.
The Blue Moose Burgers and Wing Joint.
Where?
The Blue Moose. I don't know. It's something we just
what I call it? Blue Moon?
Yeah,
Blue Moon.
Cody kept calling it the Blue Moon the whole time, and I'm like, no, I don't think it's a brewery. I don't think we're going to Blue Moon. So, but we finally, we got there, and people before us, it was like a 14-person party, and then the people before them was a 10-person party. They kept being told 2-hour wait time, and they would text them whenever their table was ready. And we're like, wow, that's crazy. We know it's just me and Cody. So we're like, okay, surely, they
got
have
a corner booth, or they got a tiny little place to squeeze us,
or the bar somewhere to put 2 people just to eat, get their food in, and then leave.
The first thing I noticed was the outside area was completely empty.
Yeah, they had their whole outside area with probably 8 or 9 different tables with the umbrellas out over them. That place was completely shut down, which didn't make sense to me. It didn't make even more sense the next day when it was actually open.
Right.
But
and it was packed outside.
Yeah, it was packed outside. So,
but anyways,
they told
us
that
night.
Yeah, that night, 5 p.m. So I mean, we're getting closer to prime dinner time. Cody's like, we got 2. He's like, it'll be an hour and a half, and possibly 2 hours. And I'm like, dude, that's insane. But we say, okay, we wait. We go back out to the car. We sit in the car. We're talking about it. Do we want to wait? Do we want to leave? Do we want to wait? I keep saying, let's go
Gavin
15 minutes.
No, hold up.
I kept saying 15. No, I said, let's wait 15 minutes.
This guy
to
was
see what
already
happens.
kind of ill about it.
Well, at first I was like, that's a ridiculous wait time for 2 people. But then I'm like, let's just wait 15 minutes and we'll see what happens.
To be fair, was when they asked me, is that okay? I turned straight to you and I is that fine? And you're like,
yeah. Well, I mean, what else are we gonna do? I mean, you think that they're kind of BSing a little bit. Like, you don't think they're really gonna make us wait 2 hours until we waited 45 minutes and the party count didn't go down halfway.
So what happened? Well, first off, they send you a text message, and you can check to see how many parties are ahead of you before you get called, which was pretty neat. I did like that.
I mean, it was a cool system, but the situation really, really stunk.
So we get to the car, we're sitting there, and we're waiting, and Gavin's like, no, let's just go. And I'm like, well, all right, let's go. Well, let's just wait 15 more minutes.
I can't, dude.
All right.
I wanted to give up hope, and I wanted to go somewhere else, but then realistically, all the other restaurants we passed, parking lots full everywhere else too. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, we can just wait it out here.
But this was a big marker for you on this trip.
This was one of the restaurants I wanted to go to before we even arrived. Like, I looked up everything about this place, burgers and wings, and I really wanted some of their wings. So, I mean, it was a place that was like a must if we were to go. And I thought, I had no idea. Once again, we didn't know it was spring break. We didn't know that it was going to be this crowded. Everything was packed. Everything was going to have wait times. So we waited 45 minutes.
Awful.
Traffic was terrible around that strip. It got better towards Sevierville, but in the Pigeon Forge area right there, the immediate, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 miles there was absolutely terrible. It took you 20 minutes to get 3 minutes down the road. So
that's where I was getting ill.
Yeah, that's where Cody was getting very ill the entire time. He was saying some choice words to some people and just getting really fired up behind the wheel. I was trying to calm him down, but at the same time, I mean, it was very frustrating.
But at the same time, I was a little tired too. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, I worked all day the day before driving a truck, dealing with that all day. Yeah, it was rough. It was my vacation, man.
Vacation.
I wanted to relax.
On vacation, but no rest for the weary over here in Pigeon Forge. So,
no.
We decided to leave after 45 minutes. We cancel. It was probably 50 minutes by the time we actually canceled. We cancel it. We leave. We go to this place. Our backup was called Monster Mashed Burger. We get there. The parking lot's full, but we're hopeful. We go in. A party that's waiting outside. Only one family waiting outside.
Yeah,
they get called for their
table. And this group or this family, as we're walking up, our table's ready. So they go in, and we're standing there, at least 8 minutes.
Yeah, right behind them in line.
And there's no hostess.
There's no hostess. There's no, I don't see waitresses.
I don't see waiter or waitress. I don't even see kitchen staff.
Yeah, there's no one. You see customers, and the people that are sitting down don't even have food yet. Number one is one thing I noticed. And then there were still people on the inside sitting on benches waiting to get a table as well.
Right. So 8 to 10 minutes, this family their table is ready.
Yeah, they've been called for the table.
They're still sitting there waiting for the hostess to come
and take them to their table.
Escort them to the table.
So it's ridiculous, and we're sitting there behind them thinking well, I mean, we're going to get on a waiting list, and then all these other people have to be seated too, and these people that are sitting down out in the dining room still don't have food. I look at Cody immediately, and I'm just like, you want to get out of here? And he's like, yeah. We turn around, we bounce. Our next option at this point, we're hopeless. We say Popeyes.
We weren't happy at this point, and Popeyes was right there.
At this point, we had already been searching for dinner for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So Popeyes was right there. When we first passed Popeyes, there were 2 cars in line. By the time we left Monster Mash, it was wrapped around the building. And we were like, this is crazy. Let's ride to the other side of Sevierville the way that we came in here and just see if there's anything else that we passed that we might just want to stop and eat.
So we go down there a while, and there's not really nothing. There's just, at this point, we are still hopeful for a nice sit-down restaurant. So I'm just passing Burger King,
we wanted something different than what we could have in our hometown. And so, we only passed Burger King, Pizza Hut, all these other places, and we keep driving for about 15, 20 minutes.
We completely leave Sevierville.
Yeah, we completely leave where we are staying completely, and there's nothing we pass. So
at this point,
I told him, I get a phone call, I'm on the phone.
Yeah, he's just
I just turned
pick
to
something
him.
Or turn around.
I said, just pick the next thing you see or just turn around, we'll go somewhere. And so he's driving, I'm talking on the phone, I finally hang up, and right as I hang up the phone, out of the corner of my eye, on the way back towards Sevierville, I see out of the corner of my eye some neon lights. I look, it's El Machete Mexican Bar and Grill. And I said, dude, El Machete doesn't look packed, let's go. I half expected Cody to keep driving, but he
because we're in the far right lane.
Yeah, he whips it all the way over, into the left lane, into the turning lane, whips a Yui, into the parking lot, and we are in this building within a minute less than a minute and a half from the time I'm like, El Machete, let's go.
I wasn't playing this.
We're irritated. We're ill. We want food. Because we had actually, we enjoyed breakfast so much. I was like, you know what? I could eat lunch, so I'm going to ask. So I asked Cody, and Cody's like, no, I'm still full from breakfast. Let's just skip lunch. So we skipped lunch. So by this point, we are actually really hungry.
Well, I'm still okay. This guy's like, you ain't hungry yet?
No. By the time we were looking at 6 o'clock, I think that you were starting to get hungry.
I was still fine at that point, but that's also because I eat once a day. Anyways, how many times do you eat a day?
I only eat once a day. I eat one big dinner. So I mean, I could have waited too, but I was really upset because we weren't going to get what we went there to get. I wanted some Blue Moose.
You wanted some wings.
So I wanted some wings from Blue Moose, and we couldn't get them. So we kept looking, but we got in this place. We walk in. The dude walks up, seats us. We have drinks within 2 minutes, and within 10 to 15 minutes, we actually have our food. And no wait time to get in. We were seated. We were served immediately. It was a magnificent experience. And even though we can have Mexican food here at home, this place was exceptionally good.
It was different. It was unique in its own little way. Yeah, does that make sense?
I liked it.
It was great. Oh, and we because of our little
because of our dinner escapades, and we were so worried about finding food, and we thought that possibly later in the night we'd be hungry again.
And we were fortunate enough to get a hotel room with a microwave and refrigerator.
We ordered a lot of food.
We got 2 fajitas.
We got 2 orders of fajitas for 2 to go. I had a steak quesadilla while I was there, and Cody had some tacos while we were there. So we kind of had like appetizers while we were there with our chips and salsa, and we ordered beer. And then after that, we left, and then later in the night, we were able to heat up some more food and eat it, and it was delicious. So, I mean, shout out to El Machete in Sevierville, Tennessee. And Victor. He was our server. He was a nice guy. He was pretty busy that night, I think.
He was just, he was focused.
He was focused because I started talking to him, and I was trying to thank him, profusely for the service and everything. I was curious about the location because it said now open, which now
it looked kind of newish.
Yeah, like looked very fresh and new, clean in there. So I thought it was a brand new establishment. Maybe that's why people didn't know about it. Maybe that's why it wasn't crowded. Well, in retrospect, I'm thinking that possibly the dining room had shut down because of the pandemic and now had recently been reopened. So I'm asking him, hey man, so how long have y'all been open? And he goes, about a year. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then as I'm still talking to him, this dude just darts off to another table. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Victor. I was
thanks, bud.
Middle of talking, but, you're cool. After that, though, I think we went back to the hotel room. We chilled for the night. The next day came, and we were supposed to go to the Courthouse Donuts. It was like world-renowned Courthouse Donuts. You get to make whatever kind of donuts you want with whatever ingredients they have on hand. And lo and behold, I checked the hours, and it says permanently closed. So sometime in the midst of the pandemic, they had to shut their doors permanently, and I did not know this. This was also another plan for our trip, was to go to this place, and we did not get to. So it was a bummer. So then we rearranged plans again. This was actually the morning of my birthday. So we ended up going straight to get coffee, and we went to Crave Golf Club, which was pretty fun. It was a place for mini golf. It's a candy shop, and it also has mini bowling and escape rooms in it. We went there for the $17.99 deal to play 18 holes of putt-putt.
18?
Oh, 38. 38, sorry, yeah. It was 19 holes per course.
Those who play golf, the 19th hole was one of those where you putt it and you lose your ball.
Yeah.
So it was 36 real holes.
Yeah, 36 real holes. And we didn't putt the first time on the 19th because we were going to the rooftop course afterwards. So we did the 18 on the inside, took our ball and putter to the roof and played that course. And it was pretty fun. I mean, it's your typical mini golf game, but
it was kind of hot too.
Oh man, we got some sun that morning.
It was like 80, 82 degrees or something like that.
So after we played mini golf, the plan was to go straight to Blue Moose to get lunch because we figured lunch was not going to be as busy as dinner.
We weren't giving up on the Blue Moose.
We didn't give up. We went back, and it was not as busy, but it was still pretty busy.
About 15-minute wait.
So, yeah, 15-minute wait. We got in with about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And it was everything that I hoped for anyway. I mean, the service was pretty good. Well, as we, the only thing negative about that place is that you have to try to get in. You have to be able to time it perfect and get in.
And the inside's kind of a small place too. Like as far as like room to walk.
Yeah, the booths were kind of small. I mean, it was kind of tight, but it was just very busy in there too. But the food was great. I mean, the wings were crispy on the outside, very hot and juicy on the inside. The ranch was amazing. The fried pickles were good. Cody had, what kind of burger did you get?
I had a Hawaiian luau burger, which was a half-pound burger patty, grilled pineapples, bacon, and a type of habanero, like a mango or a pineapple habanero hot sauce that was drizzled on top. And that was great. I asked the server, because that was the only burger that had, like, the 3 little peppers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the name. So I was like, how spicy is this? He's like, well, do you like spicy food? I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, well, I would still recommend you get the sauce on the side.
The sauce on the side. They didn't put the sauce on the side.
They didn't do that, but they hardly put any sauce on
You had to get some extra sauce.
Yeah. And it still wasn't enough. But
it still wasn't spicy.
It wasn't spicy.
I actually took off a piece of my lemon pepper wing and dipped it in that sauce.
It was good, though.
It was flavorful, yeah. It was sweet. It was a sweet and spicy sauce, but it wasn't spicy as far as habanero goes. It was weird. Like, there wasn't enough habanero. Too much sweet. But it was tasty.
It was great. So
apparently, they stand by their name, Wings, Burgers, and Wings, because their burgers and their wings are both good, as far as we're concerned. So I think that if it is a 10-minute wait, even a 20-minute wait, probably worth it. 2 hours, though, for 2 people, that's a little excessive. I think we were right by trying to leave, but the food there is amazing. So if you can get in, please go try Blue Moose Burgers and Wings and Pigeon Forge, because it was amazing. After that, things kind of turned for the worse for me. I had an absolutely terrible headache. I don't know if it was a migraine or what, but the back of my eyes hurt.
Right?
Yeah, it was like the tail end of lunch. I'm trying to enjoy my last couple wings, but I am miserable. I can't get enough water. I ordered a beer. I ended up giving my beer to Cody because I couldn't drink any alcohol. I just wanted water. And I think, looking back, I think that I was possibly dehydrated. We did the putt-putt. I didn't drink hardly any water the whole trip until this point, and I had a couple glasses at lunch. I went to the CVS next door, got some Excedrin, took that, drank a ton of water, and then we went back to the hotel room, and I think we both ended up taking almost a 2-hour nap. And
that was great.
Yeah, Cody got refreshed, and when I woke up, I felt amazing.
I was still jealous because he got a nap the first night we got there.
Did I?
Yeah, like a 20-minute.
Oh yeah, I probably took a
30-minute nap. I didn't get
20-minute cat nap. But I needed this nap, guys. I needed it bad because something was wrong. I needed that medicine to kick in. I needed my body to rest and hydrate for a minute. And so those 2 hours were phenomenal. We woke up. I think we watched a movie or something on the hotel TV, and then that's when we finally started getting ready for the night's event, which was for my birthday. We got tickets to A Pirate's Voyage, which is a dinner show at Pigeon Forge, and it was pretty great. We got there extremely early. We tried to go shopping in a couple places.
It was just packed.
Yeah, it was just packed, and we didn't want to fight traffic.
The parking lot was already full over there at the Pirates because we ended up across the street and we went to the jerky outlet.
Yeah, we went to the jerky outlet, which, by the way, has some really awesome stuff in there, but it is so I wouldn't say it's overpriced, expensive. But it is expensive.
It was so the big what is it?
It's like a 32 ounce or not even a 32 ounce. It might have been. I'm not even sure. It was less than 2 pound bag of beef jerky.
I mean, the biggest kind of bag you can find at like Walmart was $30-something.
You can buy it. Yeah, you can buy one of those bags at your regular retail grocery store for probably $12.99, $13, maybe even $15.99. This was like $39. It was like almost $40 a bag. So if you got 3, it was $110. And if you get the mini 3 ounce bag, it was $10.99 for 3 ounces of beef jerky. So the best deal there was just to grab 5 of the meat sticks for $10, and even that was expensive. But we didn't want to leave there empty-handed. But
I just got some hot sauce. He ended up getting
beef jerky is expensive.
Yeah, the guy confessed him to get a how many pound?
2 pound bag of pretzels. I think it's Dots home-style pretzels. They're from North Dakota. It's the original seasoning and everything, and it's almost like having Chex Mix just packed into pretzel twist, and they're amazing. I mean, they have great flavors, a good snack. I got them mainly because I do enjoy pretzels, but my wife loves them, so I got them for her to snack on.
That's how he sold it to you.
He did sell it well because he said,
like,
dude,
oh,
like, I was like, dude, I don't. Yeah, he did say that. I said, well, what's your favorite thing in the store? And I was expecting him to name a jerky or something. He goes, dude, honestly, that 2 pound bag of pretzels, I just keep buying them. Every time I run out, I buy another one. And he's like, if you like garlic knots, like garlic bread, it's basically like that, but with the crunch of a pretzel. And I was like, dude, I mean, okay. Sold. Let me get it. It was $15 for a 2 pound bag of pretzels. But you know what? I got 2 pounds of pretzels now. How many pretzels do you
have? Do you still have those?
Oh yeah, we have at least a pound and a half left.
And we've only been back for
We've only been back for a day.
So
we ate a big bowl last night. The whole family was kind of snacking on a big old bowl, and then Darby had like another handful. So with her eating on them, there's no telling.
I bet she
might be snacking.
Right now,
yeah, she's probably snacking on them right now. To be honest with you, but
it'll be gone by Wednesday.
Shoot, I hope not. If she does, we have a problem. But yeah, we were trying to kill time because we didn't want to fight traffic on the way to this dinner show. So we finally show up, and even in the parking lot there, we waited for another 20, 30 minutes. See people lining up, and we're like, you know what? Yeah, let's go. So we were only in line for about 10 minutes before they opened doors, and the process after that was very, very speedy, I think. And we walked up, we got our tickets, we waited in line for another 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most. Let us in, and we got seats. We got seats right there in the front of the entire stage. So
yeah,
we see both
downstairs,
sides.
center.
Yeah, downstairs, bottom row, center. I mean, we were in front of everything, and it was a pretty cool show. If you like acrobats, live animals, just all the theatrics, it was good stuff.
Food.
Yeah, the food was good too. And they gave us fried chicken ham, some creamy vegetable soup with a biscuit, and then they topped it all off with apple turnover. Those are very flaky, crispy, and warm in the center, so it was good.
Yeah, this guy was having fun.
Oh yeah, man, I got into it. Like, I don't go to dinner shows often, but when I do go to dinner shows, I like to participate because other than that, there's no reason to go. I mean, other than that, I can just watch it on TV or something. So I rather go and participate.
I just want to sit there and watch the show and enjoy the show.
Cody doesn't like to participate, but when Blackbeard said to get up and raise the glass, ahoy, matey!
Gosh.
I got up and I was
this guy was like, yeah, raise your glass, Sapphire!
Yeah, Team Sapphire! So, split into Team Sapphire, Team Crimson. We were Team Sapphire, but, Team Crimson's captain was she was a pretty girl. So, but she was an enemy, so. Anyway, it was a super fun experience. I enjoyed myself, and we did get little souvenir mugs, so that's cool. But it was a fun time. It was a great time to cap off my 29th birthday dinner, and we had a blast, I think.
Oh yeah.
So that night, after that, we kind of went back to the hotel, hung out, and then the next morning we woke up, gathered all our stuff, unpacked, checked out of the hotel, got coffee, and set sail back for home. So that was basically it. We actually had some other high hopes. We had plans to do the observation wheel, 250-foot Ferris wheel out there.
It was packed back there.
It was packed. We didn't get to the Pepper Palace to get some cool hot sauce, but Cody was able to snag some from the beef jerky store across the street. It was like trying to go to an amusement park to get to all that stuff, and you had to park in a certain parking lot.
Yeah, there's only like 2 ways in. Like in the back, there's like a huge parking lot, like you would see at a Six Flags or
it was just
a Disney World or something. It was just awful. They had buses coming and shuttling you from the parking lot to the gate, and then the other entrance, which was by the Pirates. It was we couldn't cross the street to get into that. It was bad.
And like we were already fighting regular traffic the entire time.
Yeah,
we were like
bumper trying
at
to
that
get in
point
there.
we were willing to sacrifice the Pepper store and the Ferris wheel because we didn't want to fight the traffic trying to get in or out of that chaos. Also, we never made it into, we did make it barely into the Tanger outlets. We never got out of the car because it was so chaotic. People were about to like hit people's cars, get ran over. It was just, we got in and we immediately found a way to get out.
I think that's when the whole driving thing really got me. Like I was doing all right, and then we got to the Tanger outlets, and I was livid.
He was doing fine until we got to the Tanger outlets, and then after that, he's just like, I've had enough. I've had it. So,
dude, it was bad, man. You had to have felt that bad for me having to deal with that.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to help you navigate and watch out on the other side and try to look for things you didn't see just to make sure we got out of there alive, because like that place was nuts. But another thing we didn't do that we had sort of planned on was to go and get tickets to the Hidden Caverns and go on that little boat tour underground and everything.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I honestly had forgotten about it too. And then by the time we did everything else, it was just like we didn't really have enough time to do everything. And everything else that we could have had time to do, it was just fighting traffic or fighting the crowds to get to it.
But that was the thing. Like the whole trip, which we did do this, like the stuff that you wanted to do, you had to do that first thing.
Yeah, that's what we decided.
And then the rest of the day, you just kind of just piddle around, walk. Kind of just
we just kind of
waste time.
Went around wasting time, but like all the stuff that you want to do while you're there, this specific time, we couldn't do because of the crowds and traffic, and it was just too crowded. Like it was like people were waiting in lines at the other, like the wax museum and stuff. You saw them waiting on that hill for probably hours to get in the sun. It was just like, we didn't sign up for that. We were there to have a good time and to like go do a few specific things and to film stuff for the vlog. So we were like, we're not doing that. Like, we're not here to sit in a 2-hour line just to go see the wax museum. I'm sure it's cool and like it would have been fun to go there, but we didn't. There's a lot of things like that they have there that we couldn't. It wasn't
worth it at that point.
But all in all, I think it was a great trip. It was a fun trip. It was the second trip me and Cody have ever taken, just the two of us. Just the two of us. So we went to Savannah and River Street and stuff, like probably 6-7 years ago, and now this was the second trip we've been able to take, and it was
Savannah
fun.
Street.
River Street.
River Street. Okay.
River Street in Savannah.
Okay. Tybee Island. I think you said Savannah Street.
Savannah Street. No. River Street. Tybee Island was fun too. So it was the second time we were able to take this trip together, and I think we had a blast. It was fun. Even traveling there and back, we had fun. You know, just listening to music.
Yeah, traveling there was great.
Yeah, traveling back wasn't too bad. The weather wasn't as good as going, but we also woke up and were like super energized on the way there. We woke up at 4 a.m. took 5-hour energy shots, and then
just so we could,
then got on the road, and we had a blast just because by then we were like deliriously still kind of tired but energized.
Yeah, but it was 4 in the morning. There was no traffic, which made me thrilled.
Oh yeah,
and then we were just sitting there jamming the whole time.
Yeah, it was good stuff. So thank God we made it there and made it back safely. Overall experience with the whole thing, probably an 8.5 out of 10, just because we had to fight so much with traffic and crowds and got turned away by some of the restaurants that we wanted to eat at just because we weren't willing to wait for that long of a time. But everything else, was absolutely perfect, I think. And we had a blast. So I would definitely recommend if you want to take a trip to Sevierville or Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg,
Don't do it during spring break.
Yeah, you check the schedule. Be smarter than we were. Don't go during spring break. Go when it's less crowded, which I'm not sure if it ever is less crowded, but if there is ever a time to go when it's less crowded, find that time and go.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, I mean, is that place always packed?
It could be. I mean, we don't really know. It might be almost that packed, and it was just
every
that
time
much
I've ever
more.
been, I think it's been packed.
It's packed, dude. I mean, it's a popular place, popular vacation location. So, guys, I think that we're about to wrap up the second episode of the Listen to LambChop podcast. Just want to thank you so much for all the love and support on the YouTube channel and on here. And guys, if you want to go to hwlf.com and snag some gear from the He Would Love First campaign and everything, you can use my code, all caps GLTV, for a 10% off discount. So go get some gear from them, and also just always keep the faith. Faith moves mountains. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. And this is your host, Gavin Lamb, signing off.